The lives of our youth are being wasted and families are destroyed, and all because of the chemical called shabu, cocaine, cannabis, and heroin. Human rights to me means giving Filipinos, especially those at the society's fringes, a decent and dignified future to the social and physical infrastructures necessary to better their lives and freedoms, and the hard-earned property of every Filipino whose condition we wish to improve shall be protected from criminals, terrorists, corrupt officials, and traffickers and contrabands. You worry about the present. I am concerned both the present and the future. I worry about the future because I know what crimes can do to the youth of this country if not stopped. Crimes can make human cesspools of succeeding generation. I will not allow it to happen. Not during my term. Time and again, I have stressed that corruption must stop. Corruption is like a leech that it bleeds the government of funds, program, infrastructure, and social development projects. It saps the morale of dedicated and honest government workers, and corruption destroys those who succumb to its temptation, and eventually it is the innocent who will suffer and bear its horrible consequences. The love of money is corrosive, and sadly, the desire to make the easy kind of being imaginative and manipulative corrupts absolutely. Stolen wealth does not make the thief respectable. Neither will the trappings of wealth mask or cap the stink that thievery exudes. One day, justice will catch up with those who steal government funds. And when the day comes, it will be the public who will have its retribution. While we run after those who steal the people's money, we are also enhancing the government's delivery of frontline services. I thank Congress for the swift passage of the ease of doing business, which is significant. Fight against corruption and improving service of delivery. We need to sustain our momentum, and I hereby direct all government units, makinig sana kayo, and government agencies to faithfully implement this law and simply simplify the process. Hinihingi ko yan sa lahat na sa gobyerno under my control and supervision. Huwag ho kayong magkamali. I particularly call the attention of the agencies with the number of red tape-related reports from the public. Make your services truly customer-friendly. Our people deserve efficient, effective, and responsive government services. They deserve nothing less. Kayo lang ayaw eh. Gusto ng tao, kayong yung binabayaran, make your living from the pockets of the people, and you have a lousy and corrupt bureaucracy. I have friends and political supporters whom I appointed to public office and then dismissed or caused to resign. I need not mention their names or recount the circumstances surrounding the removal or resignation. Media has more than amply reported that. I value friendship. Make no mistake about it, but it has its limits. This is a lonely place I am hemmed in. Do not make it lonelier by forcing me to end our friendship because you gave me the reason to end it. It pains me to no end the loss of friendships, and that is why I appeal to you to help me in my cause so that our friendship will endure. For as long as I can remember, the bulk of the income generated in Mindanao used to be remitted to what we in Mindanao refer as the Imperial Manila, to fund national projects primarily in the Metro Manila area, leaving a pittance to Mindanao as its share thereof. Mindanao was dubbed as the land of promise, and Mindanaoans say in derision that is so because what it got from government through the years were promises, promises, and more promises. We aim to rectify that derisive observation, and as a matter of fact, we are now in the process of fulfilling that promise through significant increases in the budget for Mindanao. At the end of my term, I hope to see the promise of Mindanao fulfilled, or at least at the very least, approaching fulfillment. Be that as it may, Mindanao pauses at the crossroads of history. One road leads to harmony and peace. The other to war and human suffering. Despite all that has been said or against the Bangsamoro Organic Law by all sectoral groups, I make this solemn commitment that this administration will never deny our Muslim brothers and sisters the basic legal tools to chart their own destiny within the constitutional framework of our country. When the approved version is transmitted and received by my office, the law has been passed actually, and I intend to give me 48 hours to sign it and ratify the law. Babasahin ko pa bago ako pipirmahan. Baka may siningit kayo dyan na hindi maganda para sa ibang tao. We will need loads of understanding and patience to endure and overcome the birth pangs or pains of the new beginning. To me, war is not an option. We have been through the catastrophe in Marawi. We have seen the horror, the devastation, and the human toll, and the displacement of both Christians and Muslims alike. I have made a pledge that ISIS terrorists or groups or its allies will never gain foothold in our country. Yet, when what remained of the decimated Maoti ISIS group in Marawi finally saw the error of their ways and expressed their desire to be reintegrated into society, we welcome them with open arms and embark on a genuine efforts to embrace a peaceful, productive life for them. We owe it to our fallen soldiers and police officers in Marawi and elsewhere to put an end to the bloodshed and seek the path of true peace, a peace that will last beyond this lifetime and whose dividends our children will reap. On international relations, we shall continue to assert and pursue an independent foreign policy. Our long-term national development and national security goals come first. We shall continue to reach out to all nations regardless of their prevailing political persuasions or proximity to or distance from our shore, so long as this nation wish us well. Our stronger bonds with our ASEAN friends have made possible our trilateral border patrols with Indonesia and Malaysia, which has since then put out of business sea pirates, piracy, and other terrorists who used to infest our shared seas. This is a testament to the readiness of our country and our good neighbors to make regional peace and security our shared responsibility. We have successfully hosted the 50th ASEAN anniversary and the 31st ASEAN Summit last November 2017. We have shown the world that we are capable when we work together. The ASEAN events showcased not only the world-renowned Filipino hospitality and organizational capabilities, but also our artistic talent. I would like to commend the National ASEAN Organizing Council, led by no less than my Executive Secretary, Salvador Medialdia. Our re-energized relations with China has also led to an unprecedented level of cooperation between our nations on the war against transitional crimes. Our shared intelligence led to the discovery and dismantling of the clandestine Shabu laboratories and the arrest of Chinese chemists with the Dragon organization called Wu Syndicate. Our improved relationship with China, however, does not mean that we will waver in our commitment to defend our interests in the West Philippine Sea. This is why we engage China through this bilateral and multilateral platform, such as the ASEAN-China and the Philippines-China bilateral consultation mechanism. Opening lines of communication and amicably managing differences have led to positive development that include renewed access of Filipino fishermen to the areas in dispute in the Philippines, West Philippine Sea. Participation in the ASEAN-China dialogue has also resulted to the draft framework for the Code of Conduct in the South China Sea, which intends to resolve peaceful disputes by peaceful means. We admire our Filipino migrant workers for their selflessness and courage in enduring the hardships of living away from home to provide for their families. You epitomize the innate resilience of the nation. You have shown your willingness to toil and sacrifice day in and day out for the long-term good of your family, loved ones. You have also contributed greatly to the national economy, even as you help in small and big ways to the economies of our international partners. This is why we strongly condemn the deaths and abuses experienced by Filipino migrant workers in the hands of their foreign employers. I have said this before and I say it again. I am a worker of government, and it is my vow to make sure that your well-being remains our foremost foreign policy concern. It is for this reason that we are continuing to work with the host nations to ensure the welfare of our countrymen. I appeal to all host governments to help us as true and dependable partners